Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and it's time for the weekly pop culture wrap-up. That's right, everybody. Thanks for checking out the video. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups. This is the weekly pop culture wrap-up. It's the show where I go over the week's pop culture news, mostly comic books and movies. Let's get right into it with some comic book news. Creature from the Black Lagoon Lives. This is the latest Skybound Image Comics Universal Monsters collaboration. So they just did James Tynion and Martin Simmons on Dracula, which was an adaptation of the original Dracula movie from Universal Pictures. But it was a little bit different, right? And I've been loving that book, one of my favorite books of 2023. But now the next project has been unveiled. It's Creature from the Black Lagoon Lives. This will be written by Ram V and Dan Waters, with artwork by Matthew Roberts and coloring by Dave Stewart. And unlike Dracula, this is not an adaptation of the original film, but in fact a direct sequel to the original film, set a few years later, and a new mystery at the Black Lagoon. Now, Creature from the Black Lagoon is absolutely a fantastic movie. We covered it recently, not too long ago, here on the channel on Horror Fest, so definitely check out that review if you missed out on it. But I'm so excited. I'm so excited, first of all, that it's not just another adaptation, because even though Dracula was kind of telling us the stuff in between the scenes, I didn't want just a series of those, just a series of adaptations by different creators. Seeing this be a direct sequel to the original Creature from the Black Lagoon, that's very exciting. What's even more exciting is that Ram V and Dan Waters are doing the writing. Two of my favorite writers. We just recently had a conversation with Ram V, and then this news dropped. I would love to talk to him again about this Creature from the Black Lagoon stuff. Maybe we can get him and Dan on to talk about it or something, but because I'm so freaking pumped for this. That cover is awesome. The news is awesome. The style and format, it's going to be I'm so pumped. I'm just so freaking crazy excited about that. All right, Jason Aaron has been announced as the new writer of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So we talked about TMNT ending at issue 150, but don't be afraid. Don't be discouraged. There was going to be a reboot, but not a relaunch. Or a relaunch, not a reboot. I think they're continuing the stuff that they've been building for 150 issues, but just with the new #1 and Jason Aaron on the writing. Now, Jason Aaron's been doing some stuff since he's been no longer Marvel exclusive. He's been doing work at DC, Batman Off-World, Action Comics, pretty solid so far. He's been doing great work at Boom Studios with Once Upon a Time at the End of the World, and now here we are with him jumping over to do this project. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles by Jason Aaron. I saw an interview with him, or read an interview with him, or maybe it was something on his newsletter, but he seems really excited and extremely passionate about this project, so a great chance for everybody to jump back into Turtles if you're like me and kind of fell out of it. House of Brainiac is a crossover by DC Comics announced for April of this year. It's not necessarily an event, like a big event series or anything like that, but it's a crossover between Action Comics, Superman, Power Girl, maybe some other titles will get announced, but this is all spearheaded by Joshua Williamson, who's been building up to this in the pages of Superman. It's going to kick off, I think, with Action Comics, so that means that after a very brief run, Jason Aaron is leaving the title, maybe just temporarily, and then Joshua Williamson's coming in to launch this House of Brainiac crossover. There's also going to be a one-shot special written by him and Mark Russell, so we'll see how that's going to be. We'll see it as it develops and as it comes out. All right, then we've got Rob Liefeld's Last Blood. Nobody knows what this is about. Nobody's seen any art from it. All we know is that Rob Liefeld is working on a new project. It's called Last Blood, and we now have an official logo. I am always excited to see what Rob Liefeld has up his sleeves. He just recently helped push the Thundercats #1 orders for Dynamite to 170,000 copies. That's absolutely insane. And what's even more exciting than seeing new work from Rob Liefeld is seeing new original work from Rob Liefeld. Very excited to see what we got there. Blowa Away is a new book from Boom Studios launching in April. It'll be written by Zach Thompson with artwork by Nicola Izzo. This has been touted as kind of like Fargo meets Rear Window. It's about an isolated island. There's like a person there. I think she's like a photographer or something. She witnesses a possible murder and it all spirals out from there. So I love Fargo. I love Rear Window. I think Zach Thompson's a good writer. Boom Studios makes some decent comics. So this could shape up to be a pretty interesting book. Bill and Ted 4. So Alex Winter was recently in an interview and he said that they have a brilliant idea for Bill and Ted Part 4, and that the writers, Ed Solomon and Chris Matheson, are going to be working on that. And that it may take some time, but once all four of them, the two writers and, of course, Keanu Reeves and Alex Winters, when they get together and decide that they want to do it, and they get it in the form that they want, they're probably going to go ahead. So, holy cow, we might get a fourth Bill and Ted movie, and you know us here at PCP love our Bill and Ted, so for this news, all I can say is, station! Alright, how about Pauly Shore playing Richard Simmons in a movie, in a biopic? Pauly Shore, who we haven't really seen in a long time, doing a biopic on Richard Simmons. That's perfect. In fact, he's actually playing Richard Simmons in a short film that's making the rounds right now or something like that. Pauly Shore, first of all, looks strikingly similar to Richard Simmons. I think it's a cool idea. Richard Simmons was an iconic personality when I was a kid. He was all over the TV. He was super funny. He was super fun, and I always enjoyed Richard Simmons. And it's going to be interesting to see Pauly Shore tackle him or that character in a biopic. I watched a couple of trailers. First one, The Red Right Hand. This one stood out for me because Orlando Bloom is in it and Andie MacDowell is in it. And Andie MacDowell, she's playing like this crime boss, which is so against the typical roles that she's given, so I definitely want to check that out. And Orlando Bloom has a very convincing southern accent in this trailer, but it seems about a dude whose brother gets deep in with some kind of like southern fried crime family or something like that, and Orlando Bloom's going to have to do a few jobs for this crime family to wipe out his brother's debt or his friend's debt. I don't know if he's his brother or it's his friend, but it all is going to go awry. And Orlando Bloom versus Andie MacDowell. That seems neat. The trailer seemed cliche and usual, but at the same time, it's cool to see those characters or those actors in those kind of performances. And then I watched the Spaceman trailer. It's a new Adam Sandler movie. Arrives in March on Netflix. Adam Sandler plays a dude out in space. He's been isolated for like 6 months. He's on this long journey, and he starts seeing a giant spider that he's telepathically communicating with. That sounds like that's a comedy, right? But if you watch this trailer, it is so like, it's like they want us to perceive it as this very heavy, like very serious movie. And I get it. A guy out in space, isolated, he's lonely, he's going through his memories, his past, replaying his regrets, replaying his victories, but all aided by a giant cutesy looking CG animated spider that's telepathically communicating. It just seems so silly. Like, watch that trailer. Let me know in the comments what you think about it. Because this movie looks like they're trying to be very deadly serious with it. Very dramatic. But I don't understand this spider thing. It seems so tonally dissonant from the rest of it. It's just so weird and wild. So I'll probably check it out. I don't know. So that's what we got for you this week. What's coming here at PCP? Join me tonight as I make my grand return to Dylan's Horror Show. Link in the description below. We're going to be talking about Don Coscarelli's Bubba Hotep with Bruce Campbell as Elvis. That's a great movie. If you haven't checked it out, I highly encourage you to check it out, then watch our conversation tonight on Dylan's Horror Show. Rockin Robbie Live does return Sunday night at 7 p.m. Central Time after almost a month off. Well, we're finally here. We're going to be doing Batman, Marvel in the 90s, and a lot of show and tell, because I got some stuff to show, and I got some stuff to tell about it. Also, Monday night, PCP Movie Night, we're going to be talking about Martin Scorsese's Casino. So be sure to check us out Monday night at 8 p.m. Central Time for PCP Movie Night. So that's what we got. Let us know in the comments below any of your thoughts on any of the stuff that we covered. I've been Rockin Robbie Billups. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and join us over at patreon.com/PCP if you want to help support the channel. Thanks for rocking with us. Keep on living. Station. Pop, pop.